Folks, we just released Kontakt 8 with some phenomenal new additions. It comes with a deeply advanced chord generator and a compelling phrase generator, which is more like a melody sequencer. Both of these tools are truly inspiring and changed the way I work with Kontakt, especially with Play Series instruments. But what if I told you that it also helped to unlock new possibilities of how I work in Maschine? I'm talking about the new loop player called Leap, which is included in Kontakt 8. It makes kicking off an idea in Maschine faster than ever before. Every preset is like a little song starter, which automatically syncs to your project tempo. I can't wait to show you, but first, send us some love, hit the bell below, and subscribe for more tips and tricks on the Native Instruments channel. In the first example, we check out the basic workflow of Leap inside Maschine. Here I got some drums playing already, coming from the Lockdown Grind expansion. It's called the Crips kit. And in sound number 13, I already loaded a Leap plugin. I'm using the Latin Trap expansion right now, and more specifically the Barry Yo kit. The user interface is pretty straightforward. Down here you find these 16 sample slots. Each of those can be auditioned using the mouse. So I can just click one of these things and it plays a bassline loop. There are various basslines down here and a bunch of melody phrases as well. All of those can be put on top of one another. It's like a little construction kit that helps you to kick off a song. In Maschine, I love to use Leap inside keyboard mode. So once I enter keyboard mode, it gives me access to all the loops that you can see down here. Now, one important tip is if you bring your scale to major, it removes all the effect buttons here, which means that all the pads are referencing only the white keys, aka the loop slots of your Leap plugin. So all of these pads are now allowing me to play loops. So here are the bass lines. Let's combine a couple of these. So you see, it's really cool. Everything is in sync with the project tempo already and can be used right away. So let's record a little pattern to jam with. Once I recorded the pattern, I move right over to the plugin view, which gives me access to the Leap parameters. So here I could, for example, go to another key by using this knob over here. Bring it to C or any other kind of key. I really love the deep, melancholic tone of G minor, so let's go with this one here and move over to the next page, which gives you 8 effects and little like things that you can tweak here. For example, the cutoff, delay and reverb, a tape wobble, and even a little more gnarly charger to bring in that distortion. So you can really make your pattern come alive and breathe with all of these effects. And of course, what's also super dope is to put perform effects on the Leap pattern that you just recorded. So for example, the stutter is really cool to create these climax snare rolls. If you want to take it up a notch, hold down the stutter and then boom, slam the knob over to the scratch engine. This adds a turntable stop. As you've seen, one huge advantage is the speed in which you can come up with new song ideas. Another benefit is that if you create in this way, your song is playing inside one machine group only, which is very efficient. Just think about playing a beat set and you going on stage. You could actually come up with a machine project containing several of these beats and then go from one to the other during your set. Here's another expansion that I've found really interesting. It's called Soul Gold. And in here there are a couple of vocal chops that I would love to use in the track that I've just created. But I noticed that the scale is totally off. No problem with Leap. I just go in and bring the key to G, so it fits the pattern of group A, and here you go, let's create a pattern. If you want to find out more about how to use Leap, I'd highly recommend to check out Brian's video that he just did on Kontakt 8, which we linked in the description below. Kontakt 8 also introduces two new play assistance tools called Chords and Phrases. The Chords tool gives you 7 circles, each of them representing one chord of a preset. There are many different presets to choose from. So you'll always find something that fits your mood. What's really cool about this is that you can add strumming here with this knob. So if I turn it up, all the chords are going to flow nicely. You can also change the direction of the strumming. Which is a whole different way to play chords on machine.
Go!
The kit I just played was perfect to finger drum because I have all the chords on separate pads up here. Still, I only use one Kontakt instance in sound number 13. So all the other pads, they're like proxy pads that access the same Kontakt instance using the MIDI setting here. A detailed description on how to set this up you can find in a video that's called 10 Things You Didn't Know About Machine, which we linked in the description below. And it's a very efficient way to work because it saves some CPU, you only need one Kontakt, and you can come up with these great settings that are easy and very fun to play. If you came up with a selection of chords that you really like and you may want to use again in the future, there's an easy way to print and record these chords as audio samples. You can actually just activate the sampler, use detect mode, and select the Kontakt instance as a source. So when I start the recording and hit the pad, it's going to play and record that chord So when I stop it, it's been replacing the proxy pad, and I have a sample that I can start editing like I would normally do with a sample inside Maschine Sampler. So a really quick and easy way to come up with a whole chord set to be used in finger drumming routines just like that. In the next example, we check out the Phrases tool, and it looks pretty similar to the Chords tool. It also comes with 7 different slots, each of them containing one phrase that you can play right away by holding down the pad. Just gonna loop over and over again until you select another one. It's almost like a smart arpeggiator that comes with a bunch of harmonies that fit each other. And if you want to edit, you just go into the interface here and can, for example, shorten down a phrase by grabbing and changing the length of the phrase here right at the circle. You can also move over here and access some global settings like rotation, note length, quantization, and these kind of things. There's also a randomize button, which will randomize parameters here in the interface so you can come up with new variations on the fly. Phrases tool comes with a huge amount of presets that you can see here in the browser. Phrases is really cool if you want to come up with a groove right away, and of course it can be used with each of the Kontakt play instruments. Here I'm using the Byzantine tape. Some of you may already have noticed these 2 tabs called loops and one-shots inside of Kontakt 8's browser. And yes, you are right. They're integrating all your expansion content right away. So you can, for example, go into any of your existing expansions here and drag some of the one-shots over to the Leap slots and play them right away from the pads, and also benefit from the new filter settings inside of Leap, the really cool time stretching algorithms, and all the shishi that you can basically get out of a mothership sampler like Kontakt, and you can use it all inside of a Maschine pad. And one last thing, this also works directly from Maschine's browser. So if I go in here and I'll, for example, pick the Zap one-shots, can drag and drop it right over to the Leap interface. And create a little pattern with it. And if you ever want to play a sound inside Loop chromatically, just bring it to single mode, and in a similar way to keyboard mode in Maschine, it gives you access to all the chromatic tunes of one sample. And that's really all you need to know to get going with phrases and chords and Leap and all the new goodies that come on board with Kontakt 8. Kontakt 8 impressed me in so many different ways. Using my vast collection of play instruments, it will just never be the same again with all these new tools on board. And once I paired it with Maschine, I tell you, it was game on. So check out Kontakt 8 now and discover more tricks to speed up your beat making process. Thanks for watching, and see you again soon.